guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, November 29th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. This is one of those weeks where not only sales were very slow, but eBay news was very slow. So I decided to do a deep dive into some things that I've been noticing that I'd like to bring up now for discussion. Problems that have happened either to me or to many people in the eBay Facebook groups. The topics I'd like to cover today will be, number one, I did not order this item. I want a refund right now. Number two, measure this. Number three, I just bought this item from you. Will you ship it faster than it says in the listing? I'll pay extra. Number four, a best offer that seems too good to be true sometimes is. Stay tuned to find out my story about that. Okay, I definitely want to cover those and anything else that comes into my mind as I go along. I would like to say that this was a very slow week, and that's to be expected because of that dreaded holiday yesterday. And I want to say, guys, I'm not one to brag about anything. Anything I tell you is 100% true. I never lie on my videos, never. You may not like everything I say, and that's your privilege. But anything I do tell you is the 100% truth. I am not one that's very good at cooking. I don't even cook. I avoid it at all costs. However, if I do say so, my turkey meal yesterday came out pretty good. And it's all on me. I had no help with this. I didn't even have to share it. It was all for me, and I want you to see how good it came out. That was my turkey meal yesterday. I think I did pretty good for a guy that really doesn't know how to cook. So yeah, that being said, let's get right into the eBay news. Problems that I have seen. The first one is not so much something that happens to me a lot, but it does happen to a lot of people in the Facebook groups. A buyer will send a reasonable best offer to a seller, and the seller will accept. They will ship the item out promptly, and anywhere from maybe 8 hours to 3 or 4 days later, they'll get an irate message from the buyer saying, I did not order this. I want a refund right now. How could that possibly happen? I know exactly what's going on, and I've explained it to you in the past, and I'm going to explain it again. This buyer, in my opinion, is somebody that's been sending out best offers left and right like crazy, paying for nothing for years and getting away with it. Recently, after years and years of deadbeat bidders, eBay finally changed it so that if we accept the best offer, we're supposed to be paid immediately. This was a great change on eBay's part. There are some buyers that didn't get the message that they actually have to pay for their items when they send out best offers. And when they find out that they have to pay, they get very pissed off and irate. So if you do get one of these people, you're covered. You don't have to worry about it, all right? They can't say they didn't order it. They did. I really miss the old days when people used to try and pull that scam with me. They would say something like, I did not order this item. Somebody else must have ordered it. I want a refund. Back in the old days, I would call eBay and they would lock up the person's account for unauthorized use. It was great. Oh man, did I love that. They won't do it anymore. You can call till you're blue in the face. They will not lock up the account. They will only lock it up if the person whose account actually was scammed or taken over calls up to report it. Next item is something that happens to me periodically, and just again yesterday, measure this. It happens with alloy wheel center caps. Let me just show you something. When I list something, all right, the important thing is what wheel they fit. Everyone has a different type backing that is geared to the wheel that they fit. And I always take care of that. I put that in the drop-down feature, in the description. I take pictures, and I usually include a picture of the wheel. But now and then, I will get one of these old school people that will say, measure this, and tell me exactly what the measurement is in centimeters. Here you go. I had it happen yesterday. I had two dog caps listed for $18. 1-8. $18. And he wants me to measure them. Anytime I get that message, I respond by saying, no thank you. I'm not measuring anything. These caps are only designed to fit the wheel that I described in the listing. You cannot make these fit anything else. Send message and block them. Goodbye. Goodbye, Columbus. You're out of my hair. I'm doing them a favor by blocking them. I don't want to sell them something that's not going to fit, because if they get it, they're going to file a return and they're going to say wrong item sent. This is a huge issue on eBay Motors. I swear to Christ Jesus on my life, on Wednesday, I had 2 different eBay Motors sellers texting me at once, complaining about that. The amount of returns, fraudulent item not as described returns in the cesspool known as eBay Motors is just over the top. And my video last week accentuated this. I will continue to make videos like that, addressing that problem until this issue is fixed. Now, one of my favorite topics is ship this item as quickly as possible. I'll pay extra. One thing I learned as a kid, guys, and I've said it here hundreds of times, rush deals never work. Do not ever change the terms of your listing after the deal has been made. If a buyer buys your item and pays you right away, and then contacts you and wants to change things, don't do it. Now, I can't make you not do it, but I'm going to warn you not to do it. And if you do it, I'm going to laugh at you if it goes bad. Here's an example of what happened to someone in one of the Facebook groups the other day. And this is just textbook. This is a textbook. They sold an item to a buyer. Buyer pays right away. As soon as the deal has been done, the buyer starts the dancing and says, can you ship this overnight? I will pay extra. I need it right away. And the seller said, no, I can't ship overnight. It's either going to be priority mail, which is what it says right there, or if you want, I'll just cancel the listing and you can get on your way. And the person says, all right, I'll take the priority mail, but be sure to get to the post office right away tomorrow. I need this item as soon as possible. So the next day comes, the seller goes right to the post office, ships the item out, tracking's uploaded, scanned, everything's great. Later in the day, the buyer writes back, cancel the item and give me a refund right now. I no longer want it. So they went from, I'll pay extra to get it overnight, to ship it as quickly as possible, to I don't want it. Those are the people you want to avoid. If they ask you for a quicker shipping option before they make the purchase, well then maybe, and I'm saying maybe, you can work a deal with them, but not after the deal is made. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Okay? Next item has to do with best offers. Have you ever gotten a best offer that seems just too good to be true? It's happened probably to all of you. I'm going to tell you about one I got last week that had every possible red flag imaginable. I had an item that was listed for $20.25. Okay? And a buyer sends me a best offer. Now, on an item that cheap, I would expect an offer of maybe $10, $15, $18. Okay? He sends me an offer of $20, which is he's only asking for a 25-cent discount. So there's red flag number one. So I say to myself, let me examine this. I said, there's definitely going to be a problem. No rational person would ask only for a discount of 25 cents. So first I look to see if there's a love note that says I want free shipping, but there's no love note. Then I look to see if I'm going to get paid right away, and I hit another red flag. It says, you will be paid within 4 days if you accept this offer. That verbiage is not correct. What it should say is, you might get paid within 4 days if you accept this offer. In the meantime, your item is off the shelf, and if the person doesn't pay, screw you, and we will not do a thing to the deadbeat bidder. That's what it should say. So obviously the item's going out of the country. So then and there, just for that reason, I would never accept the offer. I don't care where it's going. But when I saw where it was going, that cemented any possibility of me doing business. It was going to Australia. There's a reason why I have a thing for sending to Australia. Now, if they were to do the buy it now and they live in Australia, that's fine. I'll ship it there with absolutely no compunction. But if they want to throw me a best offer, I'm not accepting it. I got stung big time by an Australian earlier this year, and I'll touch on that in a second. But now, I declined the offer as you would expect. Now, make believe you're a serious buyer, okay? Make believe you sent me an offer of $20 on an item that's $20.25, and the offer was declined. If you really wanted the item, wouldn't you just spend 25 cents more and do the buy it now? Any rational person would. This person didn't. Which, in my opinion, tells me he never had intention of paying for it. Never. Crazy but true. To get back to what I alluded to earlier about my worst buyer in history, I'm actually going to just give you a tidbit of it right now, but I'm going to talk more about this piece of crap the end of December when I do my year in review, and I talk about my worst eBay buyer in 25 years. But I have to elaborate on it a little bit now just to make it clear to you why I have such an aversion to accepting best offers from Australia. I talked about this, as I said, months ago. I'll talk about it again real quick. I had listed a set of classic 1969 hubs earlier this year, and a person from Australia sent me a best offer. I accepted it, and I shipped them out. 3 or 4 days go by, and I decide to list another set of the same hubs. I took new pictures, started a new listing, changed the title slightly, and the description a little bit. The same guy, that night that I listed him, sends me a best offer from Australia. All right? Pays right away. Okay? Now, any red flags there? At that time, no, because it's not unusual for a person with a classic car, 1969, to buy a second set just to keep for an emergency, because they're very hard to get, especially when you live over in Australia. Got it? So at that time, it didn't seem like a problem. I shipped the items out right away. Maybe a day later, the buyer writes to me and says, cancel the second set. I didn't realize I purchased the first set. He claims that eBay never notified him that I accepted the best offer. Now that's not my fault, okay? That's his fault. I said to him, I'm not canceling anything. I said, they were shipped out yesterday. However, I do accept returns for 30 days if you want to send them back, no problem. Boy, did he lay into me. He called me every name in the book. All right? When he got both sets, he immediately left me negative feedback on the second set. Not criticizing the items, but criticizing the fact I wouldn't cancel because he had bought the previous set. eBay concierge removed it. A few days later, when he saw it was removed, he left me negative feedback on the first set, saying the same thing. Now, in the end of next month, when I do my year in review, I will expose him and his negative feedbacks once again, just to show you, but I'm not going to get into him right now. I'm just trying to set the stage for why I have such an aversion to accepting best offers from anybody from Australia. It ain't going to happen. I don't care if you offer me 25 cents less. You're not getting it, all right? Simple as that. If you want to do a best offer, if you want to do the buy it now and pay full price, I'll ship anywhere. I'll ship anywhere, okay? Best offer is for people who are going to pay immediately. And until eBay changes that with overseas buyers, it ain't happening. Like the old saying goes, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So yeah, I hope that clarifies things. One more topic I would like to cover, if I may, is the ever-increasing amount of buyer feedback abuse. I've never seen it this bad. People actually seem to take pleasure not only in leaving negative feedback, but in threatening to leave negative feedback. I got a neutral feedback earlier this week. I believe it was Wednesday. A guy sent me a best offer. There's those best offers again. Guy sends me a best offer on a damaged set of hubs. It clearly pointed out the damaged areas, this and that. He sent me a dirt cheap offer. I accepted it just to get rid of them. And he leaves me a neutral feedback saying that they were damaged, scratched, blemished, etc., which they were. But it clearly said that in the listing. So I got the call back from concierge. They took a look at it. They removed the neutral. This buyer abuse with the feedback system is just rampant on eBay. I don't know what it's like on other platforms because I don't sell there, but it's absolutely awful and I can't see it continuing. What I mean by I can't see it continuing, let me put that another way. I can't see the site continuing to successfully function with the amount of buyer abuse that's going on that it is right now. It's absolutely awful. You should see some of the things that are being shared in the Facebook groups. People threatening negative feedback willy-nilly with no repercussions, and eBay won't do a thing about it. eBay won't do a thing about buyers that threaten you with negative feedback. Don't look for your protection. You ain't getting it, okay? It never used to be this way. Even during the Wild West of eBay, remember those good old days? Boy, do I miss them. eBay was a level playing field, all right? If somebody threatened you negative feedback, that was called feedback extortion, and they would remove it, all right? And we, as sellers, could leave negative feedback for buyers that never paid. There is no reason on earth that we should not be allowed to leave negative feedback for buyers that do not pay. I don't want to hear any bull. I don't want to hear any crap. I don't want to hear any discussion, all right? Now, sadly, I can understand why we can't leave negative feedback for buyers that pay. I understand that. I'm not saying I like it, but I do understand it because there were some sellers that really abused it. I saw it firsthand. You don't have to convince me. I'm talking about deadbeat bidders, all right? We should be allowed to leave them a negative feedback that says, deadbeat bidder, buyer never paid. That's it. It'll never happen though. All right, guys. That's all I'm going to talk about today. I'm Crazy New York Driver, you're not. Thank you for watching this video. Sales this week were exceptionally slow. Pathetic, in fact. It's just been a very bad year for me, but this last quarter has really hurt. I hope you guys did better. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you make a lot of money on eBay this week. Rock on and peace.